Never feed your tortoise iceberg lettuce. He was actually really dehydrated. It was making me nervous. We're gonna fire away some Sulcata questions right now. Hey, what's going on, everyone? I'm hanging out here with the kids and Lumpy. I wanted to just show you guys what's been going on with him. I'm constantly nervous now about Lumpy. As you guys know, he had a feeding tube and a little dehydration. So one of the things that I'm doing with him is making sure that he keeps on eating watermelon. And yes, you may notice a cardinal sin for tortoise keeping, or what you might think is a cardinal sin for tortoise keeping. Our animal mission is simple: education in action, conservation in action. This is Kamp Kenan. This is iceberg lettuce, and many times we're told never feed your tortoise iceberg lettuce, and that's because it really doesn't have a lot of nutritional value. But why am I feeding iceberg lettuce to my tortoise? And the reason is because it's got a lot of water. It's 90% water. So by feeding him this, I know that he's getting hydrated. So it's not bad to actually feed iceberg lettuce if it's going to be part of a well-rounded diet. And you see that? I'm actually just making sure that he has enough metabolic moisture, enough preformed water from this food, that he's able to maintain his digestion and all the processes that he was having troubles with. He was actually really dehydrated. It was making me nervous. And so I'm very cautiously optimistic about him. I want to make sure he's okay. So I've been really keeping an eye on him as I've got him back out here in the main thing. Did you have a question, Tom?
No, I was, what makes you worried about him now? Like what?
Well, it's just the thing, like what makes, it could just be the cooler temps we're experiencing, but he moves around, which is good. It's just, I want to make sure, I just haven't seen the same vigor that I once saw with him. But again, the fact that he's eating, he is still pooping, all that's good. It's just, I need to make sure that this tortoise is definitely on the mend. It really doesn't matter. What the good thing is even though he's back here in the colony, there's been no combat, nothing like that. And so that's really good. Brutus has not been bothering him. And it's just a matter of me keeping an eye on him. And I guess because I'm so attached to this tortoise that I get a little bit nervous if something's like not 100% right. But again, the fact that he's eating, no big deal, really excited. He's also getting the Missouri tortoise diet, and I've been feeding them collard greens as well, plus whatever he can walk around and nibble on. I am toying with the idea of probably pulling him out and keeping him alone and getting him back on a grass pasture just to see if that helps him out anymore, just so that I can kind of really focus on him. So I'm just keeping a look at him. He seems like he's doing good here though today, which is very nice. And that watermelon and this lettuce is going to disappear. So everyone came out because there's a woodpecker up in that tree, which is kind of cool. A pileated woodpecker. I don't know if you guys will be able to see it. We only have the GoPro, but you can see there's a woodpecker up there. And he's doing his thing. It's a pretty much.
Your Woody Woodpecker.
I knew you were going to say that.
Come on, it's good. It's
all right, you guys do yours first.
No.
No? All right.
First.
This is my Woody Woodpecker. Let me see.
I forget how to do it.
It's so hard to do. It's hard. Very hard to do.
Good.
Not bad. But anyhow, we're out here with the family, and we are actually doing a little bit of a Sulcata. You have some questions, don't you, Tom?
We always get all these questions from people.
Yeah, all right.
And we've got like a multitude of Sulcata questions.
All right, we're going to fire away some Sulcata questions right now. Tom's going to.
Here we go.
All right.
I'll ask.
No, he doesn't like to be on camera.
Yeah, come on,
He's the disembodied voice. He's like the parents in Peanuts.
Yeah, okay.
Wah, 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 wah.
All right, what question? We'll start with babies. There's some questions about babies, all right?
Okay.
So someone says, hello, this is Jennifer Taylor. She loves your channel. She has 2 questions regarding the babies.
Hi, Jennifer.
The first one is, I have a baby who's at least 3 months old, because that's how long I've had it.
Okay. She has a baby that's 3 months old. That's how long she's had it.
In those 3 months, he's put on 5 grams of weight, eats every day, walks around the enclosure, is normal. What would be a good growth rate? And the second question is, her baby's out in the outside enclosure. The 4x8, half of it is in the shade. I noticed that the baby is always in the shade. Will he get UVB in the shade?
All right.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, I think I can figure it out. We'll talk about that as we watch Lumpy eat a little bit. So basically the deal is this. As far as a growth rate, I don't have any actual figures on growth rates, but you know what? The best thing to do is to actually weigh the tortoise. So say you start and the tortoise is, I don't know, I'm just gonna make up a number, 20 grams. And in a month, he's 22 grams, that's good. Increase in weight is good. You want to feed your tortoise. I feed baby tortoises a little bit every day or once every other day. And by doing that, you know, you can keep an eye on them and make sure that they're growing at a nice, slow, and steady rate. Now, baby Sulcata tortoises, here's Lumpy. Lumpy's about 20 years old, and he's 130 pounds. But baby Sulcata tortoises wind up growing fairly quickly so that they don't get eaten. But then their growth will slow down a little bit, and it's barely noticeable once they become adults. Basically, you know, if you're adding weight to the tortoise, that's good. Now, for the second part of your question, you could see this is a large enclosure. It gets a lot of sun, but there's some shade over here in the form of those palmetto bushes. And here's one of my little gals right now. That's Ethel. Hi, Ethel. How you doing? And what you were asking is it okay that the tortoise stays in the shade? Well, one of the things we know with tortoises is the fact that if the animal is either basking all the time or is in the shade all the time, that means something's wrong. Now, I'm not saying something's wrong, but you may want to have that animal looked at by a veterinarian because if it's always in the shade, it's not functioning the way it should. A tortoise, a healthy tortoise, is going to move in and out of its different microclimates. They wander around, they bask in the morning, they get warmed up, they do a little bit of grazing, and then when it gets too hot, they'll escape the hottest part of the day by either going into their shelter or by going into the shade that you guys see over there, or in the wild, they actually dig burrows like the North American gopher tortoise. And so basically the animal moves about. That's why it's so important to watch an animal and understand its behavior, because if it stops moving, it usually means that it's sick. So what I suggest you do, if the animal's in the shade all the time, take it to a vet. All right, you got another question, Tom? Go for it.
Yeah, I got another one. Patrice Kaisar.
Okay, Patrice, how you doing?
What's the best bulb to use for an 80-pound Sulcata tortoise? Do they come in 4-foot lengths? And how high should it be hung in the winter for keeping?
Very good. Good question. Okay, so I don't use a lot of UVB bulbs, but when I do, Fluker makes a good bulb, as does ZoomEd. The Slimline series can be suspended. Their fixtures come and they're about 4 foot long. They're the largest ones. So you could buy two and make an 8 foot long section that you can suspend from the ceiling, and they hang down. I would give them there are recommendations on the actual packaging about how far that UVB will be transmitted from the bulbs, but usually it's about 24 inches because they're thinking about this in a terrarium setup, okay? They're high output bulbs. Depending on the bulbs you get, they have a forest bulb, they have a tropical bulb, they have a desert bulb. The desert bulb is, of course, going to have a very high output of UVA and UVB. But usually 24 inches above could be pretty good. So you can hang it down, and that should be good. Now, that's just UVB. As far as a basking bulb, you want Sulcata tortoises to get their metabolism up. Now, remember, this is a species that lives in the Sahel. Very desert environment. We're here in South Florida. Usually it's quite hot. Now it could be 80 degrees standing up here, just ambient temperature is about 80 degrees, but on the ground, because the sun's been beating on it, especially if there's darker areas of ground, you can get that ground to be about 110 degrees. So they're living about an inch off the ground, and they raise their body temperatures up quick. It's almost like you're cooking the tortoise underneath the basking light. You want it to be about 105 degrees directly under that basking light. So they sell a ZoomEd sells the mercury vapor bulb, which puts out UVA, UVB, and heat. You can also do something by going to your local home improvement store. You can buy a heat bulb that goes in these fixtures, and you can hang one of these porcelain-based light fixtures down from the ceiling. That'll get it to maybe, again, 24 inches, and then as it's, she broke the branch. That's crazy. If you were sitting under it, you would have been clobbered. That woodpecker's doing a good job on that tree.
Wow.
looking for grubs and bugs and beetles. Anyhow, as I was saying, directly under it, you're gonna make sure that it's gonna be about 105 degrees. And then the tortoise is gonna move in and out of that as they need to. So that's what I would suggest. Directly under the basking area is gonna be somewhere in that 100-degree mark. And then you know they're cooking up nice.
Cool. We'll end it on a very quick, simple one from Finn ONeill.
Finn, what's up?
He said, I got a very simple question. Do sulcata tortoises get lonely?
Ah, very good. It's a great question.
Most people probably only have one if they don't have the space, right?
It's true. You can have one tortoise. I'm sure they live happy lives. They interact with you. But my whole thing has always been this. 2 reasons. When someone asks me if they should get 1 or 2 tortoises, I always say, would you want to go through life without seeing another one of your own kind? And I would probably say no. Now, this is me anthropomorphizing. I always say that wrong. How do you say it? Yeah, there's a P. She doesn't know how to say it either. Anthropomorphize. Oh, I always say it. Anthropomorphize.
Anthropomorphize? Anthropomorphication, right?
Anthropomorphize. You said it was a nice, simple, easy one. I just want to say this right. Here we go. Anthropomorphic. Relating or characterized to anthropomorphism. Yeah.
Okay.
Having human characteristics, putting human characteristics on a non-human creature.
You're projecting yourself on it.
Exactly. But back to the question at hand, I think it's nice to have 2 at the same time, because if you get 2 babies and raise them up together, now they're the same size, they've grown up together, less chance for any kind of aggression. Also, you see a more full range of the animal's behaviors. It's really interesting. I mean, you look at these gals come out. The females come out when they see me. You know, the males bob their heads. They'll sometimes combat. The females are eating together. They're grazing together. It's just really cool to see. So I don't know if they get lonely. I can't tell you 100%, but it sure is fun if you have the space to have more than one and just see them interacting with each other. And then through anthropomorphizing, you can see maybe putting a little bit of yourself on these amazing animals. She's putting a little bit of herself on my foot. Thank you, dear. And that's it. We did another fun sulcata video. We stepped up and Lumpy's doing good. He's eating. Sophia's feeding him right now. You can see the gals are out. And it's just been an amazing time here at the camp, working with these animals and seeing them flourish for, gosh, I've been here since 2004. They've been along there with me. They've been here since the beginning. Wow. Totally cool. All right, I'm losing my mind, everybody. I guess I'll see you all later. So long. Thanks for watching. Like and subscribe. If you have more questions, go ahead and fire them out. Maybe we'll answer them right here on the channel. See you guys. I'm going to go enjoy the torts.